Hi everyone, welcome to Jie Podcast. I'm Celine and that's Sarah. So today we have a somewhat cheesier topic to talk about, and that is what we would tell our teenage self. So today we have both written letters to our 15-year-old self, so exactly 10 years ago. And actually,
And 35.
and when we are 35. Actually, I thought at first when Sarah mentioned the idea, I thought it was like, oh, sounds a bit cheesy. But then right, actually I actually really thought it was a very good idea after that, after taking a while, because you know what? I feel like a lot of adults, you actually forget what it's like to be teenagers. And even though we were not teenagers that long ago, right? I feel like I also started to forget what it felt like to be a teenager.
Okay.
So
Actually, the reason why I thought of this topic was that I feel that it's not the part of regrets, but I feel like if I reflected myself when I was like from maybe when I was in uni, I feel like my thinking has changed a lot. Like I would have done a lot of things differently. That's why I thought it was a good time to reflect on our life.
yeah, I think yeah, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, yeah, you know what? You need to reflect in life to improve. So okay, so Sarah, you wanna start with yours?
Okay, so I'll start with my letter to my 15-year-old self. I need to put a disclaimer out there. I try not to think about secondary school stuff because it's mostly not very nice memories. So I try to forget as much as possible. Yeah. Okay, but I'm reflecting based on the things that I can remember. So, dear myself, your secondary school teachers are crazy. I mean, sometimes you were the problem in some occasions, but a lot of the times they were the problem. So you don't feel that it's your fault.
Okay.
Yeah. And you should stand up to some of the crazy teachers. You shouldn't just swallow down the injustice. Yeah. And don't believe all the elitist stuff that the school tries to tell you. Because when I'm older now, I feel like everybody is the same. And oh yeah, and don't worry about not knowing what to do in the future. It will turn out fine. Like the wind will blow you to places that you will never think of. So it's just enjoy your life, and don't be mean to your friends. Try to make more friends, and play more and create more trouble because you're only 15 once. You cannot be 15 again. Yeah, and learn another language while you still can.
What language will you learn?
I don't know, just another language.
Okay.
Because okay, for me right now right, I think of all the subjects that I learned in school. Right, I felt that the most useful subjects right, for like as a life skill right, would be languages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like when you're younger is the best time to learn because your brain is faster for some reason.
So you ended your letter already?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought you would be a very short one.
Okay. Hey, actually now I'm learning a new language. I'm learning Korean. I feel it's so much easier for me to learn now than for me to learn in the past.
Is it?
It's so much easier.
Is it
I tell you why. I tell you,
because you have more resources or like?
no, it's just because I feel like when I was younger, I didn't really know how to study properly. So a lot of
Okay.
things, right? I don't know what's wrong with me last time, but things that I don't understand, somehow I don't know, is it I cannot remember now. Is it I couldn't be bothered, or is it even after people explain to me, I still didn't understand and I just didn't want to keep asking.
Okay.
But now when I'm learning something and you know, last time every time teacher asks, do you have any questions? Or like my tutors ask me, do you have any questions? I cannot think of any questions because I feel like everything is so it's too much. It's too much. And I cannot even
It's
think.
just floating in your brain. You need time to process.
Yeah, but I actually feel now as an adult, now that I'm learning like Korean, right? I feel
Uh-huh.
when there's something that I don't know, I can immediately spot that, oh, okay, I don't know this. I need to clarify what exactly this is. Because if last time let's say somebody was teaching me a language and I didn't know exactly how to use this word, I always think to myself, they probably either mentioned it already and I missed it, so I'm not going to ask, or I
Mm-hmm.
am going to figure it out because everybody else knows. And so I always get
Okay.
trapped in this. And I feel really as I got older, it's so much easier for me to learn.
Okay.
So yeah, I feel
I feel like my brain was more like a sponge when I was younger. So if you want to look at just the number of words that I can memorize, I feel like I can do that better when I was younger.
oh, I see.
Uh,
I feel like my brain definitely
mm,
improved as I got older. Like not
that's
actually.
good.
Like a lot of things, like even like
That's a good.
subjects that I wasn't as good at as I get older, it becomes clearer and clearer to me. It's faster and faster for me to learn. I don't know why. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe last time when I was young, I was just cannot be bothered. I was just really stupid. I don't know which one it is. I don't know. I definitely can. I definitely
You
was
cannot
bothered.
be bothered.
No, no.
Okay.
Now I think about it, I
I
was
wanted to make you
bothered.
feel better about yourself, you know.
Okay, sorry, but let's just be honest. I was not the brightest kid. So okay, now this is my letter to my 15-year-old self. Um, I'm still dying. Hi Celine, I'm here to show some empathy, understanding, and assurance. Here are some things I thought you would like to know about your future. First, you did well for O levels. Secondly, your best friends in school today will still be your best friends 10 years later. Thirdly, you are currently living the life that you dreamed of. I know a lot of adults are quick to dismiss your problems as trivial or childish. I think it's because a lot of people have forgotten what it's really like to be at their age. And even though I was a teenager not that long ago, I too have forgotten a little of what it's like. But as I wrote this, I started to remember and bring myself back to that time. So when your friends are being mean, it's easy to say just ignore them. But I know how difficult it is to pretend that you're not hurt and have to go to school again and tomorrow and see their stupid face. I know when you get a bad grade, even though people say it won't matter in a few years, you can't help but question why you're so dumb in the moment. And sometimes bad things happen at home and you wonder if anyone even loves you and will they miss you if you're gone. And as I write this letter, so many of the emotions and thoughts I had at that time came back. But hindsight is 2020, and that's why this magic letter is also here to guide you. You will be sad to know that you will still meet horrible, horrible humans in the future, but you will also meet so many more amazing people who will become your friends and even your future husband. I know you're with someone else now, but it won't end well. But don't be too sad. It will only end in 2 years. So enjoy the short 2 years that you have now. You will do well in your studies, even for math and science. You will still passionately hate the subjects 10 years later. We cannot change our genetics. Also, you will have a good relationship with your parents and be assured that they love you with all their heart, but they are humans just like you and you can't expect to always get along. So enjoy your youth. It's such a magical time. Enjoy the moments you have with 311, which was my class last time. It will all end one day. 10 years later, you'll be living in London with the love of your life, traveling Europe, and it will be even better than what you imagine. But till that day comes, have empathy for yourself and for other people, and please, for the love of God, be kind to others.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's my letter to myself.
I think our regrets are similar. Not regrets, but like we would tell our past self to be nicer,
when you said
right?
that, I was like, oh shit, I was gonna say the same thing. I was like, I feel like I don't know, is it
Like,
a generational thing, right? Not generational, but it's like, when I grew up, I remember very clearly growing up watching TV and seeing a lot of American sitcoms where there are people who are very mean.
uh-huh.
And and I not even just mean, but people who are not very, like High School Musical, like Gabriella, like she's very like withdrawn to herself, but people like her, and I don't know why. Okay, I think it's very stupid, but again, I was very young. That I have this idea that that's how you make friends. Instead of being
Ah,
very, instead of
nice.
being nice, which is so stupid. It's really like you grow up and then you think to yourself like, am I stupid or what? But that's how I used to think. It's not that I go out of my way to be mean to people, but I am definitely not a kind person last time.
Okay. I have no excuses. I just wanted to be a bitch to people.
What do you do?
No, like I won't think of what my words will make people feel. So I just spoke my mind. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you just give a lot of unnecessary comments, is it?
Yes. Yeah.
I think for me is I also had this very bad habit of if someone offend me last time, I will
You want to 报仇? You want to like be mean back?
I definitely want I'm still like that today, but not as bad.
Oh.
Like I still have the thought, but I always consciously it's after a while after just recently I feel like I have like, a lot of epiphanies, right? That I feel like okay, you know what? I need to calm down and just and some things that's not too serious. But like last time a lot of things are such a big deal to me. So if someone says something that I don't like, or sometimes people are in a bad mood and they say something, let's say you say something very offensive to me, I will be like, oh, I don't want to be her friend anymore.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, it
Like,
may
won't
not.
give chance.
Yeah, I won't give chance, especially if,
Actually, I get it. Yeah.
I feel like if now I won't be like that. Now I will. Sometimes
Okay,
people are
she
in a
had a
bad
bad
mood.
day.
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
just be like, she had a bad day, and I will literally like,
It's just
I
a
don't
one time
even
thing,
remember.
forget
Yeah.
it. Yeah, correct.
But last time when we are teenagers, I was thinking about it, like why last time teenagers we are all so dramatic. But I think it's because first of all, a lot of things you experience it for the first time. So that's one of it. And the another thing is everybody around you is very dramatic. If you think last time people were talking about you, right? There's this thing that people say like, if you have like a pimple on your face, you're the only one who really notice. Actually, everybody is not that obsessed about you. But I feel like if you're a
No, I have
teenager,
classmates that point out to me
yeah,
lies.
no, I feel like if you're an adult, right, it doesn't matter. But when you're a teenager, I tell you, people are really talking about you.
Yeah, no, this even I don't like even when I have the pimple on my face, right? I don't even mind it that much. I just know that it will just pimple, it will disappear in like a week or what. But then when the people around me point it out, right, then it starts to affect me.
Yeah.
I start to feel something about the pimple. So like,
Yeah. So, when I was thinking of this, I was thinking like the different aspects of my life, right? I think one of the biggest things I just realized recently is how much I learned from my parents' behavior. I don't
the
do
good part or the bad part.
both the good part and the bad part. Like, I mean, not to be shady or anything, but nobody's perfect. My parents are definitely also not perfect. I'm also not perfect. But I feel like a lot of the behavioral patterns, right? I didn't even notice last time, but I think maybe it's like now I'm living with someone else that certain things I do, like when I get into an argument, the way I respond is so much like my parents.
Because you saw how they responded, right?
And there's no other way that I know how to respond. If you know what you know what I mean. Yeah, so I was like, oh, that's so interesting because I mean now that I'm older and more aware, of course, not the things that are not so good. I try and like change the way I behave because I hate it when people say things like, oh, that's just the way I am. Like,
No,
no.
people change.
Especially if you know especially if you know that the way you are is not a good way, why wouldn't you want to improve? But Sarah, you sound like you have a lot of grievances still with your school.
Yeah.
The bulk of your letter was actually
correct.
just about your school.
No, it's just that's the only thing I remember from the school. What?
So
Most of the time you remember
your
the bad
teenage
things.
life is just
What?
about your school?
No, I mean like if you really had to pick, right? Usually you remember all the bad parts instead of the good. It's easier to remember the bad stuff than the good. No, but
That's
I
true.
didn't particularly enjoy secondary school. Like I just wanted it to like quickly be over. That was how I felt when I was in secondary school. Yeah.
Because you didn't enjoy anything?
Have like if you really want to I did enjoy stuff, but the more not so nice things were more memorable. Let's just put it this way. No, it really affected me. Like in even like when I went to poly, right? Okay, you know, like I told you how my school is very like quite elitist.
Mm-hmm.
Then they always talk about bell curve, and then you know you have to be at the front, towards the 100 percentile, that kind
Yeah.
of thing. Then I went to poly, it was a totally different environment. Like I mixed with, I don't sound like elitist, but I mixed with people from different kinds of schools.
Mm-hmm. Was your school
Then I
a very
realized,
good school?
yes, it was a band one school.
Ah, okay.
Yes. Then I realized that, wow, I cannot continue living my student life like how I live in secondary school.
I think I got the same problem as you. Honestly, last time when I was in secondary school, I was also quite elitist. But then my grades in secondary school humbled me very quickly.
My grades were terrible, but you know what is the name of the school?
Oh yeah, I know. I remember actually in our year, right? This banding, like calling your school band one, band two, band three school, right, was banned. It was not allowed anymore.
Really?
And I was like for a year. I remember very clearly because I remember my principal going up on stage and saying that, oh, our school is still a band one school. And I remember thinking that I thought there's no such thing as a band one school anymore. It's precisely to stop this discrimination.
No, the thing is like they're not even like Raffles or anything. If you're from Raffles, then you want to say this kind of nonsense, I still can. I still fine. I can give it to you. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you're not even there, and you want to be arrogant, you know.
Okay, so let's talk about other parts of being a teenager. So one thing I think is the first time a lot of people experience is their first love.
I thought we agreed not to talk about this topic.
No, when I never agreed to not talk about this topic, but I'm just going to share, okay, like if to my teenage self and to all the teenagers, or if there are any teenagers who are listening, that um I think
Don't do things that you will regret.
back then I definitely did things that I regret. And uh sometimes, right, you tell people don't do it or don't do certain things, they're still going to do it because it whether it's curiosity, whether it's whatever it is, sometimes you are just going to make the mistake. But what I would say to or to whoever is, don't let the mistake define
Yes.
what you do anymore. Because for me, sometimes, right, I didn't have sex with my boyfriend. Okay, I just want to put it out there in case my mother listens to this. I didn't do that. But sometimes, like the things that I did, I was very innocent last time. I would always think like, oh, next time if no other boy would want me because I like kiss my boyfriend, whatever I did lah. Yeah, and no other that I'm tainted, I'm stained for life. And I don't know, it's not that it's not a big deal, but don't let it define what you choose to do. So many times I wanted to break up with my boyfriend and I didn't because I keep having the thought that nobody would want me after that. And
So
yeah, and also because, right, when I was young, I used to think that this guy was like the only one out there for me. I was like only 15. We got together when I was 13, 40 years old. I thought he was the only person out there in the world for me. And I know a lot of teenagers also feel this way. Because the intensity of the love you feel, right? it's just very strong at that age. And also if
Uh-huh.
for me it was like the first time that you fall in love, so that feeling is very overwhelming. Sometimes you don't even really know how to like control it, I would say.
Uh, what do you want me to talk about?
Your relationships. No, you don't need to describe, but like what you would tell yourself if you look at your
Don't
14
waste
year.
your time. Just spend your time studying.
Oh,
Because I
okay.
feel like the net gain is zero. You get what I mean?
No.
No, like the net gain from the whatever relationship was zero.
Why?
I didn't feel like I gained anything
No
or I lost
experience,
anything.
no nothing.
No. I feel like even if I experienced it or didn't experience it, it wouldn't change the way I am now.
Okay, okay. If I
But if
could
I studied more, it might have changed the way I am now.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's one thing I regret though. I feel like when I was in school, I up to my poly years, right, when I was dating another guy, I wish I had spent more time with my friends rather than spending time with my boyfriend.
Ah, okay.
Because I
Okay.
feel like especially in secondary school, my boyfriend didn't want to spend time with me. And I come to think of it, it's a blessing in disguise because then I had a lot of time to spend with my friends, and I have very, very good friends to this day because of that. But in poly, I can't even tell you one person that I'm close with. And majority of my time in poly I spent with my boyfriend at that time. And I think because of that, I I was so stuck and so close all the time. I didn't really like go out and socialize with other people. I just wanted to spend all my time with my boyfriend. And I feel even now, right, even though I went through it, even now when I'm in London, a lot of times when people ask me to go out, right, I just really rather stay at home with my boyfriend. I don't really want to go out, which I think actually is quite bad because I'm a strong believer that you need to have friends. You definitely
It's
need to have friends.
true.
You
You need to
cannot
have
survive.
friends.
Yeah, you cannot survive with just love. So I if I were to go back in time, that's what I would tell myself, even if to teenagers who are dating, don't ever neglect your friends. It's very, very
Mm-hmm.
lonely when you have no friends.
Do you think teenagers will listen to us? I feel like they will just do what they want to do.
I don't know. I mean, this
I
is
mean,
what I
like
would
when you're
tell
in,
my teenage self also.
because in secondary school, the school will tell us that, oh, you should study hard so that you can go to a good JC. Yeah. But like, I mean, I didn't really care.
I get a lot when I was in secondary school that I go to a good JC.
I know, they say this to you, but I didn't listen. You get that's my
No,
point.
I really cared. I cared a lot that I go into a
Uh-huh.
good JC. Like I really, really care. I mean, I wasn't a slacker last time in school. I studied a lot. It's just that I didn't get what I was studying, but I did try my best. The thing is, sometimes I feel like a lot of adults that give advice. So my parents are very liberal people, right? Actually, my mother knew I had a boyfriend when I was in secondary school, but I'm just saying like maybe teachers, okay? They always say like, oh, next time when you grow up, you have a lot of chance to date or like, now focus on your studies. Just focus on your studies. The thing is, right? I don't know. At that moment when you have a crush on someone in your class, you cannot help it one. It doesn't matter whether you date that person or you don't date that person. I tell you, last time when I have a crush on someone, right, I would be so in love with them. I cannot even like I would be sitting in
Cannot
class.
focus.
Yeah, I would be sitting
Only
in
think
class.
about the person and
I
you
would
smile.
just occasionally like turn my head and then see if that person is looking at me, or be like, like I'll make my hand nice and be like I cannot you cannot tell somebody that, oh, you need to stop liking boys. It's just not possible, okay? It just was not possible for me back then.
No, and it was the age when everyone was having puberty. They start to experience
Exactly.
this kind of feelings. It's not their fault. It's really how they work, their bodies work.
Yeah, that's why I
And she
see
cannot stop them.
sometimes people forget what it feels like. Of course, now I tell you, if I can go back and slap myself away, I say, stop looking at boys and stop thinking of boys. Go and do something
And
else.
slap.
I would slap myself and be like,
Get it together.
yeah, be like, get it together. You don't need to have so many boyfriends. But the thing is, at that time, you really cannot help yourself. And I remember that feeling, like, you just go crazy, and then you're like, what I would say to do is, instead of not having a boyfriend or not having a crush or whatever it is just to have more balance.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I
correct.
would
You need to
suggest.
prioritize.
Yeah, that's what I would suggest, rather than saying like, no, cannot.
No. Okay. Actually, I don't know. I feel like another regret of mine, right? It might be illegal, but I feel like I should have created more trouble. I should have been more mischievous. Like, you know, when you hear people say things like they climb the school gate and what, I never climbed a school gate before. Like, now I think about it, I would have climbed it when I was 15. I would tell my 15-year-old self to just climb. And I know how it feels like to
You need a
trespass the
thrill, is
school.
it?
Or something. Yeah, I felt like I didn't feel enough thrill.
Oh.
Like, you know, we hear like the teacher during morning assembly, they say they caught students throwing tissue up the ceiling, the wet tissue up the ceiling. I feel like I should have done it too right now. I should have done more fun things. Let's just put it that way.
I have no regrets regarding that. Not because I did a lot of things. No, so I tell you, I think even back then, if I did something like that, I would feel so bad for the people that had to clean it up.
Okay, or like dye my hair when it's like not allowed based on the school rules.
Oh, I
that
did
kind
that.
of thing.
I dyed my hair since I was 14, and then I go to school, and then
Natural.
yeah, people are just
Then it's like the teacher, it's natural.
no, my
It's a
teachers,
chlorine from the swimming pool.
my teachers knew I dyed my hair, but for some reason nobody asked me to dye back. Then I was like, okay.
Yeah, or like not wear white shoes. Like, I feel like I should have done something to like rebel the school rules, even if it's not a serious thing.
I think it's because you have so much hatred for your school. You feel like a bit like slapping them.
I
in a
need
bit,
to
like just
revenge.
giving them that little bit of problem. Then you feel the thrill.
Yes, maybe. No, but these are very fun stories to tell your friends. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I know but I don't know.
Yeah.
I never thought of like I wish I was more mischievous. I wish. No, actually, I'm pretty okay with how the way I spend my life. But the one thing, okay, let's talk about like family, without going like into details about like how was your life with your family. A lot of teenagers at that period, they're very rebellious. Were you ever rebellious?
But it's more like arguing. It's not like I hate you, that kind of thing. It's more like I will talk back to my parents. But it wasn't so bad. It's not so bad. I've heard of like very bad cases. I'm nowhere near there.
Like what?
Like they will leave home for like for a few days, that kind. Yeah, I didn't do that. I cannot. I'm too spoiled. I cannot live without a bidet.
Okay. I think when I was a teenager, I wasn't a troublemaker also. As in, I didn't do anything that is illegal, or I didn't even do anything that is really against rules. You know, like I also never climbed school gate, or I never like never vandalize stuff, never smoke. I did drink a bit because my friends were older than me, and then they could drink, so they would like sometimes bring me to drink. But like I mean, I'm not the. If you know me today, I don't drink at all. So you know, all that turned out well. But I think at that time, right, I didn't have a very good relationship with my parents, and my family life was very tumultuous because my parents were also getting divorced. So back then, I think You know, you have this feeling, right? I think a lot of teenagers also have this feeling that you feel that you're old enough to do a lot of things, but you just don't have the freedom to do it. Like your friends are going
Yeah.
overseas, they're going overseas or they're going staycation, and when you're at that teenage space, right? Sometimes some parents are very strict. They don't allow you to go at all, or like, you know, you still have a curfew. You have to come back at 8 o'clock, or you every day you must come home and eat dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm.
you're like, your parents don't understand you, but you don't have the financial independence to be by yourself as well. So what would you say to these people? I think
It's better to live at home.
I think that's one of the things, right? You really cannot solve until you grow older. It's really very difficult. I didn't have a curfew. I didn't exactly have a curfew, but I really enjoy playing with my friends. I really like to go out with my friends and then have dinner, and then even if it's not causing trouble, but like going, sometimes we go to like the KTV, not the dirty KTV, like the Teo Heng kind of KTV,
I
right?
know, I know.
Until night. So that caused a lot of conflict between me and my parents also, because I felt like, you know, it's I'm young, I want to have my freedom, but then they're like, no, come home. And then I'm like, no, they don't understand me. And I did get into a lot of very heated arguments with my parents. And you know, it's like when you are a teenager, you also think that you know everything. And but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time you really don't, because a lot of the dangers that's out there, um your parents are definitely always worried for you. You know, whatever dangers that's out there, you really don't know. And sometimes you know, there's this saying, 你不见鬼不怕死. So it's like you don't see a ghost, you're not scared of dying. But your parents have been, at least they're older, they've seen more things, they know more things than you. And so sometimes I think these things as teenagers, you really just cannot help it, because I know when I was a teenager, I have major FOMO. Major FOMO. If I see my friends doing something, and that time I already got Instagram, so I tell you, if I see my friends doing something, right, and then I cannot go, or they're typing in a WhatsApp group, hey, meet up. Then everybody say, oh, come here, I'm reaching soon. Then after that, they start sending group chat pictures. Then I'm at home. I'm like, no, my life sucks. But my parents very rarely did that, because my parents also know that. My parents very rarely did that, but there are still some times that we will argue about the frequency that I can go out.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
yeah, but I think, I don't know, I feel for my case it was already pretty mild. I've read some cases of some people, like my friends, not allowed to go out, not allowed to have sleepover, not allowed to, like, you know, go barbecue. Sometimes, you know, you have
I'm
barbecue,
that
right?
friend.
Yeah, your parents don't let.
Uh,
Do you feel
but
very
like,
sian? Or you okay? You just swa,
yeah,
okay, go
I
home.
could live like that. No, because I know at that point of time, right? I know that when I'm older, I can do all this. So it's always the hope for the future that keeps me going.
Uh,
Mm.
I don't know, when I think of it, right? If my parents tell me like, oh, next time when you're older you can do this. At that time, 15 years old, I'll think, oh, I still have so long before I finally 20. I'm like, another 5 years. I'm like, oh, I'm only
Uh,
15 years old. I still have to wait another 5 years. That's so long.
well,
Yeah, I think different
no.
people, different people. I feel
Yeah.
maybe you were much more tamer than me. I don't even feel that I was very rebellious. I feel like I was very like, already.
But when I was younger, I realized, right, I wouldn't reflect on my behavior. I just did what I thought. I just did what I felt. Like now that I'm older, maybe like some days I say something not very nice, right? Then go home, I'll be like, oh, actually I shouldn't have said that. That's not very nice.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
growth.
I mean, gross.
Growth.
Yeah, like in secondary school, I just say what I want. Like, you not happy and go have yourself, you know.
uh, uh,
Yeah.
Gangster. Do you actually,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? When I was I feel like when I was a teenager, there were so many things that I was very passionate about. But I feel like as I grow older, the fire in me died down. So I'll just say, for example, right, tying plates in every day. I tell you, back then I hated it. I still disagree with it now. But back then I was so passionate about I was very passionate about trying to change things. Like when I see something that maybe is not like injustices, okay, not just to me, but generally to other people also. I feel very passionately that I want to change it. When I was in primary school, I saw the documentary of shark's fin. How shark's fin was made. From then on, I never drink shark's fin anymore. I have never done such a thing. I mean, I still don't drink shark's fin today just because I don't have the habit of drinking, because so long already I just keep saying like no, I don't drink, I don't drink. But I don't know, last time when I see these type of things, things that I think is very unjust, I'm so passionate about it that I really want to change tying plates. I really thought like it's not just that it's a hassle, but it's actually very bad for the hair. And I would go out of my way to be like, why are we still doing this? And maybe
Why don't you just cut your hair?
ugly. But
Huh.
no,
I feel like I would have if I really hated it that much, right, with my 15-year-old self, I wouldn't just like cut my hair. I would shave my whole head. Okay, maybe because I hate my secondary school lah. Okay. Oh, okay.
I'm too eye mei for this. I'm too vain. But or okay, let's say something like a social cause. I would really go all out and be like, this is very unfair. I really want to do something about it. Or injustices towards myself. But as I got older, right, I feel
The
annoyed.
rest of the world is grey.
Yeah, and then I just feel like I cannot be bothered. And sometimes I think about it, I actually miss a bit of how I used to be, because I feel like I was passionate about things. It's not a bad thing to be passionate about things. It's just
It's not.
the world has beaten me enough that I you just kind of like, okay, it is what it is. If it doesn't affect me too much, just suck it up and move on. So I don't know. I do miss that part of myself.
Okay. How about your future self?
I start first?
Sure.
Dear future self, it's weird to think that you might be a mother now. Like, that's wild. At the time of writing, you've just finished your masters and are traveling Europe. But there's growing anxiety about what career you're going to do. I hope you get it together and find something you enjoy, or at least something decent. If you could write back and tell me when and where I'll be working, that would be a great relief. But I guess not knowing is half the fun in life. How's the family? Is Bing Guet still around? Are my grandparents still around? I hope everyone is still with me, happy and healthy. I can't believe that now my parents will be in their 60s. That's wild. And remember that no matter how busy you are, that your family is the priority. And I will be immensely disappointed in you if you don't visit everyone regularly. I hope that you continue to improve on your character as well, and you will be a much better version of who I am today. I hope you'll be kinder and that life circumstances doesn't change you for the worst. However, if it does, I understand too. But I hope you don't become a Karen, especially after you have kids. Please don't be entitled. Otherwise, just know that past you strongly disapproves. I hope that you are happily married and all is going well in your married life. I hope your husband still loves you and doesn't pull a net. I also hope you don't pull a net and you continue to put effort in your relationship.
Where is pull a net?
Pull a net. Pull a net.
oh,
What's his
oh.
name? Pull a net foamer.
Okay.
Also, remember your friends. Don't be isolated and be one of those people who become an island after getting married. You need at least 3 friends so that you can play mahjong properly. But I also hope your future friends are not too busy for you and that in the next 10 years you'll continue to meet amazing people. I'm so excited to see what you accomplish, and I believe it will be better than what I imagine now. And I will see you in 10 years, so make me proud.
Nice. I think the main point is quite similar for mine. Okay, so to my future self, I don't know whether you'll still be in Singapore or not, but I hope like at 35, you should be done with your PhD, and like you have already done all the things that you wanted to do, especially driving. And I hope that when you look back at all the things that you have done in the last 10 years, you won't feel that many regrets. I'm pretty sure you will feel some of it too, but not that many, not as many as compared to when you are 15. Maybe at 35 you can consider dating again. And if life gets a little bit too lonely after like all your friends settle down, and I hope you still have friends at this rate that you are going. And lastly, I hope you have lots of money and nice skin.
What do you mean you hope you have friends at the rate that you're going? How are you losing your friends?
I deleted my social media and the Instagram.
Really, man? I thought you still on
No,
it.
because I needed to wait 1 week to deactivate the account. That's why I had it for like 1 week. I already deactivated it.
Ah, okay, I see.
I hope I'll be at peace.
But you sound
I
like
hope I'll
you're
find
dying.
peace.
Why?
No, I'll find peace with a lot of things. I just want my 35-year-old self to be happy.
Do you think by 35 you would have adopted the child that you wanted?
I was thinking of writing that so like maybe by 35 I would be a mom, but I don't know. It's very hard to say.
Okay, so that's all for today's episode. We hope you enjoy. And even though this exercise sounds a bit like cheesy, but it's actually, I feel it's kind of therapeutic in a way. And I think it's very interesting to write to your future self. Actually, I did that when I was 15. I wrote to my 21-year-old self. And then when I was 20, I actually forgot about it. When I was 22, I read the letter and it was cute.
How do you feel? What do you write? The main points.
I cannot remember. I mean, even when I was 22, that's 3 years ago, I cannot really remember. But I remember the first line. The first line I sent to my friends. I said, I hope you're still with your boyfriend. At 22, I look at it, I was like,
that's nice.
I was a very, very idealistic 15-year-old. But yes, okay, so yeah, I think it's a pretty fun exercise, pretty fun activity to do just for yourself as well. So we will see you next week. No, not next week, 2 weeks later. Bye.